Roberts moves up top in the formation. Wigmore will throw, has time, dumps it down, bounces it right off of the aforementioned Jackson Roberts' head, and it's incomplete. The rest of the starting offense for the Vultures, halfback is Warren Murray and G.P. Wells, the fullback T-Roy Gaines. You've got Ivory Irvin, David Anderson, Daley Holder, and Mac Chima, Mac and Cheese as they call him at wide receiver, Benji Matson, and you just saw Jackson Roberts at tight end. We'll get into the offensive line here next. 2nd down and 10 now. Wigmore dumps that one down real quick. That connection is made. Finds Mac Chima for a gain of 5. On the offensive line, Sir Charles, Ray Arnold, Olivia Bleeker, Alden Bleeker, Jay Arnold, and Don Johnson. That rounds out the rest of the offense here for Baltimore. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
And this is already an early third down that I think is pretty big.
Rollout for Wigmore. Throws over the middle. That one is complete. Got it out to David Anderson. Gets the first down, keeps the chains moving.
Yeah, and what a way for him to just kind of come right across the front, making this a little bit of an in route right there, keep going and getting in the vision of Jack Wigmore to be able to find him and complete it, and able to reset the downs right here.
1st down and 10. They got 3 receivers down to the bottom. Quick pass over the middle. That one's connected to Ivory Irvin and complete for another 1st down.
Look, and they're just kind of making their offense kind of move just typically how they've done it all season, especially over these last, 5 to 6 games that they've actually, played, right? So they've actually found, what's working for them and how to get themselves in a situation to win games, So look, they've only lost 1 game out of the last 6.
Ball is handed off to Warren Murray, finally seeing some ground action going as well. 2nd down and 3 after a pickup of 7 yards. On the defensive line for Charleston, you've got Dyterian Darshington, Dan Dash, Anthony Ellison, John Nevels, and Forrest Dalton at linebacker. The nefarious Hall of Famer Jack Brown, along with Ben Bowman and Khalil Thomas. The secondary in a bit. Run up the middle by Wigmore. He's actually carried the ball a few times this season, Gerald. He's even got a pair of touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, he had 32 carries, 2 touchdowns, averaging almost 2.5 yards a carry. I mean, but it's all you need right there. You only need him in short yardage situations when you probably have, somewhere up to 2-ish yards there. And if he can get it for you, why not?
1st down and 10, split backs in the backfield. 2 receiver set. They'll pitch this one down to the bottom. Goes to T-Roy Gaines. Picks up only 1, and we'll round out the secondary for Charleston with J.W. Hartshorn, Brandon Ewing, Leo Morris, Ryan Cook, Matt Ryan, Sam Blotner, Jacob Clear, and John Stamongo. Those are your 4 corners and 4 safeties. Wigmore throws over the middle. Short pass to Ivory Irvin. And their methodical drive continues to progress.
Yeah, and look, and you can tell what they're wanting to do right here, especially on that play right there, right? They kind of cross a couple of guys up, maybe, get yourself an inadvertently what they call like pick routes and everything else, right? Crossing right in front of it, but they're playing a zone. But still, they played a zone that was far enough back, the defense did, and it allowed those receivers just to have open space.
Wigmore to throw from the 24-yard line, has all kinds of time, throws towards the end zone, and incomplete. Batted away by John Stamongo. Good defensive play that brings them to 4th down.
Yeah, actually thought it should have been a pick. It's kind of hard to see with all this black and red and the ball being a little bit dark, but I thought it was a pick right there. But
I did too.
It's fortunate enough for Jack Wigmore that, they're still able, to retain possession and be to get Tarkington out there to attempt a field goal.
Shark Tarkington, a perfect 20 of 20 on the season. This one, 41 yards from the left hash. Kick is up. Kick is good. The Shark, Gerald, is money. He, I think, literally never misses.
I'm sure he's missed it.
Well, he's missed in his career.
Yeah, so he's not immortal.
Wow.
I mean, there's no old as Boudreaux.
363 makes out of 374 attempts on his career. Those are both number one in the league, by the way. I maintain that anybody that has kicked the ball 374 times and has made it through 363 of them, that's pretty much, you can say they never miss.
But he did 11 times.
Ridiculous. So, hey, during the Matt Wilson kickoff show, we had a super chat, Gerald, and for some reason, due to technical difficulties, because I don't know what happened, technically speaking.
Operator error.
On my behalf, I did not see the super chat. But Marco Swift said $5 super chat and said, I said let's throw the bigger dags in the pool next convention. Who's with me? I don't know. What? Wow. I don't know what sparked such hostility, but that's, hey, whatever.
Your 9 wins.
All right, well, Charleston getting things started. Got the Lake Man himself starting off at quarterback for the Charleston Predators. Back out there now on second down. We saw him in Kopech start the last time we called a Charleston game, Gerald. Got the Lake Man with the start. He's got a pass of 4, second down and 6. Ball is handed off to Nick Hoagland. He gets his first carry of the ball game, picks up only a yard. Iman Kopech and John Lakeman are the quarterbacks. Ian Francis and Nick Hoagland are the halfbacks. You've got Terrell Sutherland and Brad Taylor Wright at fullback. Doug Spelling, Nick Twice, Sora Lunar, and Doug Britton. Those are your wide receivers. Leon Sandcastle, Xavier Solomon, and Breddington James at tight end. Third down and 5. You got DeBrickashaw Mullinex and Perrin Abrera, along with Leroy James, Finley James on the offensive line. That pass incomplete. Tried to get it out to Spelling, and Jamarcus Lamarcus, the 17th in on the offensive line. So that's kind of a quick 3-0. That was Iman Kopech there with the last pass, Gerald, and not able to get anything going on that drive.
Yeah, he tried to hit Doug Spelling in there, kind of bounced off his hands, and this is not the type of game that they want to be in, where they're giving it back the ball back to Baltimore. As we mentioned in the Matt Wilson kickoff show, how Baltimore is the #1 scoring offense in the league and also have the top offense in the league as well. So
yeah,
it's going to be. Their defense got to go through, come through and actually start shutting them down, right? So, but it's still within. It's early. It's only roughly 5 minutes past through the first quarter. But just like we called a game, one of the last times Charleston played, we called a game, and they actually just kind of grinded it out and kind of stayed within it. And the defense stepped up when they needed to, and the offense was opportunistic when they got the ball.
Jack Wigmore leads his offense back out onto the field. T-Roy Gaines trying to make a run, but Jack Brown has other plans. So that one goes for no gain. Second down and 10. T-Roy Gaines in the outing against DC. 10 carries. Get this, 92 yards, Gerald. 92 yards. And his long was only 28, so it's not like he just had one run for 80 and then 9 runs for 12.
He was getting chunk yardage.
Sure was. And Wigmore tackled right back at the line. Not sure if they'll credit John Nevels with a sack or not, but he did get the tackle. And that brings up third down.
Yeah, what they're doing, they brought pressure right around the edges, and they brought a lot of people. They stayed in man coverage out there and kind of gave themselves kind of zero coverage on the back end. And they were able to get pressure in and around the quarterback, called Jack Wigmore to, kind of break the pocket, result in a sack. But it's a third and long right here.
Play action. Wigmore rolls out right, throws over the middle, and that one is connected and complete. Mac and Cheese with the first down.
See, and that's the thing that can happen whenever you don't get pressure on the quarterback right there. They decided not to send anyone and just to rush 4, hold everybody back in coverage. And what happened? They found someone open in man coverage, and guess what they did? He kind of reached out and kind of one-handed it right there just to reset the downs. Charleston cannot continue, on this type of trajectory if they expect to kind of win this game.
First down and 10 from the 45-yard line, goes back to T-Roy Gaines. He'll pick up a 6-yard carry. T-Roy Gaines used almost as much at, from the fullback role, used almost as much as a halfback as any other halfback in the league.
Yeah, that's true. And look at the second and short right here, coming out in a real heavy set. And we're going to see how they're going to be able to respond, to get themselves in a, in a situation to be able to stop them. Jack Wigmore run.
Yeah, another Jack Wigmore run. Oh, and that's what I was starting to talk about on their last possession, Gerald. Jack Wigmore, he's actually carried the ball a few times this season. 32 carries, 73 yards, and he has 2 touchdowns. He did fumble at once, though, so that's always something to keep an eye on those short yardage run situations, too, with Mr. Wigmore. He'll pass this time. That one going over the middle. Oh, he had Ivory Irvin. But,
oh, no.
Oh, Irvin couldn't catch
Stamango?
it. And it looks like John Stamango is indeed injured.
And that's going to be a tough loss on the back end right there, too. He's one of the leaders on this defense right here. And he's actually, the leading tackler on the team as well with 75 tackles on the season. So we're going to see how the defense is going to respond in his absence. So, and with any luck for Charleston, he's able to come back. You give him some, pickle juice and orange slices or something.
Give him some Wickles pickle juice. That'll get him going. Punt from Matty Coffins is away. It'll come down at about the 19-yard line. And a very short return there. Gets it up to the 22-yard line. We'll keep an eye out for John Stamango as Charleston's defense comes back onto the field after this offensive possession. But for now, let's see what Charleston's offense can do. They had a quick 3-and-out and a punt. They only gained a single yard, Gerald, on their opening drive.
Yeah, they need to do a little bit better than that. But guess what? The defense did their job to be able to get this offense the ball back.
The Lake Man back out on the quarterback position, gets it out to Doug Britton, the longtime Las Vegas Fury member, if I remember correctly, and obviously now here with Charleston.
Look, and I said it on a previous game too. Like Doug Britton, I think he's one of these really underutilized type players because he's a player that can like take over a game with his sheer strength. He's not the tallest, but cool man, he actually can make the plays when he needs to.
Hoagland picks up the first down and then gets face masked for his trouble, and we'll call that one an incidental face mask, Gerald. Which is always fun to see when you see that the face mask. I know I see you shaking your head. It's always fun when you see the face mask penalty. Sometimes you'll see where it looks like they just brush it. They're like, "Oh, personal foul," and then they'll get tackled by their head.
I feel like at times the ref was like, "Well, maybe he deserved it."
Yep,
5 yards. We have to call it because it's the rule, but 5 yards, maybe he deserved it.
1st and 10 from the 38. That's so mean. Hoagland, he'll pick up 4 yards on the carry. He's had a productive season along the way. Nick Hoagland's, run along this season. He's carried the team, if you will. 145 carries coming into tonight's game, 464 yards. Only averaging about 3.2 per carry. He's had 4 touchdowns. Needs to try to get that average up a little bit. As this one gets stuck behind the line for a 1-yard loss. That is Ian Francis with the carry. 3rd down and 6.
Alvin Mack came up and just blew that play up. He didn't actually get a hand on the actual player, but he blew up, like the lineman trying to block him and everything else or whatever it was and created that play that resulted in, somewhat of a tackle for loss there.
Once again, Iman Kopech comes out on 3rd down, and once again, it does not work. We'll have to see if that's a trend that they want to stick to. If Kopech seems to be their 3rd down QB. Like I mentioned, Gerald, on the last time that we called a Charleston game, Kopech actually started the game, and we saw him out there for full series at times. As this team likes to switch between Kopech and also the Lake Man.
Yeah, and they were pretty efficient and everything else whenever they would, the way that they had it set up last time. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, Ivory Irvin with a nice punt return.
But this is and this is kind of like what we've seen Charleston do pretty often, right? Like they don't start out come blazing out the gates on offense, but what they do, they're able to move the ball just enough, and then they start playing this field position game.
Yes.
And they slowly start improving their field position, and they get really opportunistic when the offense makes mistakes and to get themselves in the right place, and then their offense is able to capitalize on it and kind of push themselves forward to get in the end zone.
Less than a minute to go here in the opening frame. Baltimore takes over from their own 19-yard line. Getting it back down to T-Roy Gaines, who does a nice truck, but then Jack Brown wraps him up for the tackle after a pickup of 4 yards. 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, Jack Brown has had in my opinion, have had a phenomenal season.
Yeah, 57 tackles on the season so far. He's had 4 picks, Gerald.
And a pick 6.
Yeah, pick 6. Not too shabby for the old linebacker. Yeah, can you call him the old linebacker yet? I mean, he's still like 12.
Yeah, he's like 12, but he's been in the league a gazillion years. It seems like he was in the womb and was a part of the team.
His mother signed him up. You know, I just know my little Jack is going to want to. That is so condescending and demeaning. What is wrong with, well, the both of us? Jack, he's a Hall of Famer. I apologize. I feel bad.
He's got the respect. He's a Hall of Famer, but man,
I've
never seen anybody be in the league so long but be so young.
You know, it's the Aztec way. So he's a long-time Mexico City Aztec, and that's why I still can't help but haze him just a little bit. Wow, first quarter already in the books. 3-0. Baltimore with the lead over Charleston. Low-scoring game, but I bet you there's going to be a lot more action along the way. You're watching the Simulation Football League on YouTube.
So all these uniforms, like I forget where I am.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know where I am.
You're wherever the plane takes you.
Oh, supersonic jet.
Charleston takes back over on offense. We'll see if they can get anything going this time around from the 34-yard line. Oh, excuse me. I don't even know what the heck I'm talking about now. I just said Charleston took back over on offense. Baltimore's still on the field. See, I knew the uniforms would get to me eventually, Gerald.
Yeah, but you're not respecting the stars on the pants there, man.
I know.
Like Charleston doesn't have them stars.
I know.
And that's another thing for me, right? I'm just going to speak about uniforms.
Go for it.
Why can't any other team except the Revs have like that nice transitional like stripe that goes down the side of the uniform or the shirt and then meet it right at the pant and go down?
I actually know the answer to this one.
It needs better designers.
No, it's because we're not all crazy like you, is why. Ivory Irvin picks up 9.9 second in inches. I'm sorry, but sometimes the truth hurts.
Well, we win in the shirt game and the sign game. We're champions at something.
2nd down in inches. We'll see if Wigmore tries to take this one himself. We've seen him scramble already a couple of times in these short yardage situations, and he does once again. Picks up about 4 yards. I respect it. Yeah, go ahead. I think I know where you're going.
I really feel like at some point this could be detrimental. One, he's probably going to end up dropping the ball.
There you go.
And then he's going to be having snot bubbles coming out of his nose because he's going to get hit so darn hard by these ridiculously large linebackers.
Yeah, you see like Ty Patak running around. I mean, that's part of his game. As another pass to Irvin goes complete for 7. And hey, if Wigmore can make it part of his game too, kudos to him. He's only lost 1 fumble on the season. So, I mean, who am I to judge? But my concern is the injuries. Listen, Jordan Sipe, I love you, sir. But that being said, he will get injured if somebody just looks at him the wrong way. And then Larry Love comes in, then you never know what's going to happen. Wigmore's running again. And look, he just took a shoulder to the chest. So, wow, it's a bold strategy.
Well, it's like that song. What's it? Aramis Smiley, living on the edge. I need to sing it like that.
Yeah, I love
living
it.
On the edge.
We got a $5 Canadian super chat from Mark Lopez. So $3.88, I think, super chat.
We'll take it.
Dollars be dollars. I don't know what that was. I would like to support the Don't Bully Gerald Fund. Was I bullying you?
Every single week on air.
Stop it.
Every single week. Every single week.
I had to teach your daughter about bullying because your wife likes to bully your daughter.
And now that's all she says. You're bullying me.
And she should. She should call her out for such hostile actions.
Like, did you do your chores? You're bullying me.
Wow, look at this. Benji Matson with a nice pickup. Getting it all the way down to, must be the 10-yard line on the dot because they say 1st down and 10 from the 10. And, the Don't Bully Gerald Fund. What about me, Mark? What about me?
You're the bully.
I'm not a bully.
I'm the bully.
You're the I'm gonna bully you for calling yourself a bully.
Or as they say, victim. The victim.
Oh yeah, I think that's the word. 1st and 10 from the 11s where they'll spot the ball.
Look, and he hit Benji Madsen right there on the route. That's one of his favorite targets on the season. I mentioned early on, right? Got well over 500 yards, so favorite targets of his for sure.
Wigmore rolls out right, throws over the middle. Ivory Irvin into the end zone, touchdown Baltimore, and they take a 2-score lead.
Look, and I really do think that was really, really good play design right there by Baltimore, right? They roll out to that side. They send a lot of guys on the rollout side, and Ivory Irvin just starts trailing it, right? Trailing the play right there. People think he might be out of the play, whatever. He just kind of trails it, finds himself open, and Jack Wigmore does not miss him, and now they have a 2-score lead.
Robert Brady Jr. in the chat said, is it bullying or just teaching? And I agree. I'm just teaching. I'm just teaching you, not to be a dork. Oh, I guess that's kind of bullying.
Okay, right. So that's I'm so sad. My self-esteem just gets knocked down every single week.
I fed you.
Oh, so you feed me? You can just beat me up? That's cool.
You said it.
Oh, so right. So that I guess that's approval in some weird way.
All right, Baltimore up 10-0 over Charleston. Charleston's going to get the ball back at their own 20-yard line. We'll see if they can get something going with it, Gerald. Let's talk about their drive summary so far. They had a 3-and-out. They punted the ball. They only gained a yard there. I'd like to see the team stats in this one to see a comparison, because there's only been a few drives so far in this game, but Charleston with a grand total of 5 yards of offense.
5 yards. That's not a winning formula right now.
See if they can get something going. It's not going to be on that possession, or not that carry, I should say, as Nick Hoagland picks up -1, tackled for a loss on the play.
So if Baltimore can use that as motivation.
Here I am asking for team stats.
There it is.
And our producer is instead. Oh, boy.
I completely forgot the point I was going to make.
Well, hopefully you jotted that phone number down, because you're going to need it.
Oh, it's logged on the YouTubes.
There it is. 800-799-7233. Hashtag for Gerald.
Yeah.
There's our updated team stats. Actually, a total of 14 yards of offense for Charleston. 10 passing yards, 4 rushing yards. So that's it so far. 14 yards, averaging 1.2 yards per play. The Lake Man.
Oh, what a
there
pitch.
you go. See, that's what's up. 3rd down and 11. And what do? They keep John, the Lakeman out there, and he picks up a big 3rd down completion. Nothing against Iman Kopech, but Lakeman, a little bit more experience in the league. He was an offensive rookie of the season back in season 20, Gerald. He got it done there.
Yeah, and that was that was a great throw. Threw it right where his guy can get it. He goes there, he gets it, and that's a type of play that they needed. They needed a splash play to get themselves, kind of a little bit motivated, everything else, and get a little bit of momentum under their belt.
Trying to get this run game going as well with Ian Francis. He's able to pick up 4 yards there.
I don't know how he was able to pick up 4 yards.
I thought it was a TFL again.
That was straight out of sheer will that he just started kind of just hopping around and navigating, and just hopped over a couple of guys at the line of scrimmage and picked up 4.
I still can't get over that phone number. Anyway, 3rd down coming back up again as Alvin Mack able to get that tackle. Haven't gone through the starting defense for Baltimore yet. We'll do that now. Robert Brady, Al Walker, Ralph Leopold, and Nate Brown on the defensive line. At linebacker, you got Frank Smith and Alvin Mack. At corner, you got Ben Stackenpaper, Elijah Warfield, Roy Towers. And at safety, Sullivan Tyson, Young Vaught, Giovanni Bolt, and John Patrick Levine, as only a 1-yard pickup there. And the quarterback is tackled. 4th down once again. It's the Lake Man out on 3rd down again. Couldn't do it that time, though.
Yeah, he couldn't do it that time. He kind of rolled out and kind of got himself in a weird spot. He waited a little bit too late to break the pocket, and it gave just enough time for the defender to come off the block and be able to tackle him as he's trying to run for a 1st down. So, but look, they're playing a field position game here again, but their defense is going to have to step up and start, slowing down this Baltimore offense. As we know, that puts up, 30-plus points a game, 32 points a game they put up. So, look, and this is the over-under. A lot of people, I kind of agree with the over-under, not the over-under, the actual, the spread there. The Charleston, is the underdog by 3.5.
Yeah.
Some people may have thought that it would have been a wider margin. I
Right.
think.
Well, currently trailing by 2 scores. Baltimore back in possession of the football. Jack Wigmore hit as he throws. That one falls incomplete.
And coming right off the edge right there is the Tyrion Darshington coming around and be able to just get to him before he's able to fully get that ball off and it falls to the turf.
2nd down and 10 from their own 14-yard line. Wigmore 11 of 16, 130 yards. Make that 12 of 17 for 137 yards as he picks up 7-yard check down to T. Roy Gaines. 3rd down and 3.
And it's going to be interesting to see how Baltimore is going to approach this 3rd down right here. Like, it's about the 2-ish and a half. Are they going to do some Jack Wigmore wizardry right here and maybe do it, or maybe it's too long for them? Maybe they're too close to their own territory. They're only at the 21.
I don't think Wigmore will run here on 3rd down. Now he'll hand this one off. And Warren Murray not able to get the pickup. What a great job by the Charleston defense to keep themselves in it. Khalil Thomas with the stop, 4th and 1.
He came right in. He saw the running lane, recognized it, and got right in there. Right when Warren Murray was, thought he had a potential 1st down, and that was it. And now they're probably going to get the ball back in really good field position right here, forcing that short drive.
Yeah. Punt drops at the 30-yard line, fights his way up to the 39. Charleston will take back over on offense there. Hey, speaking of Baltimore, Gerald, the SFL convention is heading to Baltimore for the 2025 convention, which will kick off the league's 25th anniversary season on July 10th to the 14th. You can join the SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency. It's looking out over Baltimore's Inner Harbor, and you can revel in the league's first convention on the East Coast. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net.
So we're going to do a whole lot of reveling?
We are going to revel the nights away.
Is that a word, reveling?
The show is. It is now. Charleston's run game continues to struggle, though, Gerald. Nick Hoagland just got a 1-yard tackle for a loss. His stats on the day so far are not even going to be mentioned. 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, and I think if they're going to do it right, I think they're going to have to try and spread out this defense a little bit more if they want to try and run the ball. And right now Baltimore's defense is looking pretty dominant, right? And I kind of got on them, right? And that they were the weak side of this team.
You did, and they're proving you wrong so far tonight. The Lake Man throws down to the bottom. And Baltimore defender just stands right in the way. Honestly, if Velvin Mack there had simply turned, he could have got a pick.
Yep. So, but he was playing the man and got it to fall to the turf. I mean, it's a 3rd and long right here, but they did have a guy kind of coming across right there that was on a stop route, and he probably could have hit instead of that one right there, because it was really good play design. It got a guy open. They just chose the wrong person to throw it to.
3rd down and 11. 4-receiver bunch down to the bottom. The Lake Man in under quarterback. Under center, I should say. The Lake Man deep drop. Steps up in the pocket. Throws up top, complete. But complete short of the line to gain by 3 yards, Gerald. I don't always understand play calls like that. Like if it's 3rd down and 11, especially if you're throwing in coverage, you got to wait till your receiver gets a little further downfield.
Well, I see teams, like in a 3rd and long situation, do something like a screen pass that seems to never worked either, right? So it's, I don't know. I don't know what to look at. I'm not a quarterback, nor do I have ever been. That would have been a question for the great Matt Wilson.
Yeah.
What are you looking at? He's probably like, I just look to throw ducks.
Yep. He's like, I'll just throw the ball end over end like a punt. Somebody will catch it. Could be the Aztecs, could be the opponent. There's only one way to find out, and that's on the field.
Someone will catch it.
Dag's down there somewhere.
My job is to hit hands.
That's it. He didn't realize that it was specific hands. He was supposed to throw it to specific hands, not just any hands. He got it done one way or another. Still leads the league all time in touchdown passes. So he's got that going for him.
He's the greatest.
Wigmore back on the field. Gets that check down to T. Roy Gaines. They've utilized that play well so far in this one. Picks up 6. So let's talk a little bit more about that convention. Speaking of people that have been with the league since birth and, still sticking to that Aztecs theme we've been talking about with Matt, Ramos Lynn has been in the league since season 5. way long ago. We're in season 23. He was, oh, look at this. Nice pitch up top. Oh, very nice carry there. It's just by one of the fans, I think, came down, threw on a jersey and ran that one, Brad Hoover. So he got some stuff done. But yeah, Ramos Lynn, he is officially going to be at the Baltimore convention. He's got his passport. He's got his visa. The United States of America said, sure, you can come visit.
Yep, and I have the perfect shirt for him. I'll surprise him.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait, and I'm sure neither can he. We'll have something to burn to keep ourselves warm by the campfire.
That's okay. He's got to wear it first, so he can take it off and burn it afterwards. I got a perfect shirt for him. He'll love it. You'll love it.
I'm sure you do. So 2 minutes to go here in this one. Baltimore still out in front 10-0 over the Charleston Predators. See if Charleston can get the ball back and get something going. So far, their offense has just looked absolutely anemic. But yeah, if you've ever chatted with Ramos, talked to Ramos, been friends with Ramos, you hate his guts and you want to punch Ramos, now's your chance to do any of the above. He'll be at the convention. It's coming all the way from Querétaro, Mexico to come visit us.
Or, as I intend to do, guilt-tripping him to wearing something I bought specifically for him.
He ain't wearing that. Look at Jack Wigmore go. Man, he's nobody wants your T-shirts, Gerald. Jack Wigmore, he's running the ball like Matt so far in this one. He's got, 6-7 rushing attempts for over 30 yards.
Yeah, he's channeling his inner type attack. Not only can one quarterback, get his own little run game going, but he's doing it himself right here. And it's almost unmatched. It's just the way that they're, like the formations are getting, they're spreading out the defense, they're running right in the middle.
T-Roy Gaines steps out of bounds after an 8-yard pickup.
That's unfair.
What, the stiff arm of doom?
Yeah, like they just give it on him a pitch. He's already got leverage right on the edge, and then he comes in there and he just stiff arms, a really good player, really strong player, and Sam Blotner just to the ground. It's like, what is he on?
I don't know.
I've met T-Roy. Recent Hall of Fame inductee.
He seems pretty even-keeled. I don't think he's on anything.
Cincinnati, but he's one of those dudes that, he's a nice guy until he puts the helmet on. Then he turns into some sort of a
beast,
mean, freakish type person. Look at this!
To the 10, to the 5, his third touchdown of the season, and the Vultures are in the end zone for 6.
Oh my God! And that ends up being roughly a 30-yard touchdown run off of a quarterback sneak, and he's holding the ball
like a loaf of bread,
it's some sort of a toy, and he just runs it in. And my God, I don't know if I've seen anything look as strangely amazing as that since the Marcus Dunhill scramble and run against Mexico City a while back.
Wow, you really had to bring that up?
I sure did. That's you bully me. That's what
I was going to say, you wonder why you get bullied. 17-0 now here in Baltimore. 6 plays, 74 yards, half of which was on the legs of Jack Wigmore. There's a sentence I never thought I'd say. He had an 18-yard long earlier on in the season, Gerald. He's got a 28-yard long. That's what our stats crew officially listed that as tonight, and he just adds on to his rushing total. Jack Wigmore over 100 yards rushing on the season now, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's no type attack, but he's trying to reach it.
T-Roy Gaines doesn't even have 3 rushing touchdowns. The Hall of Famer T-Roy Gaines has 2 rushing touchdowns. His quarterback Jack Wigmore has 3.
I think T-Roy didn't he get his what did T-Pack give him during his Hall of Fame induction? It was like his own bobblehead. It was his own bobblehead.
I think so, yeah.
I bet Jack Wigmore doesn't have his own bobblehead.
Probably not.
I want my own bobblehead.
Skippy Curtis wants to know what the meanest thing I've ever said to you is. Oh, a fumble! It's recovered by Baltimore, and Charleston's problems go from bad to worse. Frank Smith picks up the fumble. I think Young Vaught punched that one out. We'll see the replay.
And it was a great run, but he just couldn't hold on to the ball, and it was by some guy off the bench. Don't even know who that was. Number 47 just dropped everything, and now it's just gone from extremely bad to extremely worser.
Worserer. It's sorcery, I tell you. I don't know what I meant by that. Wigmore, he's just gonna, he ain't taking his foot off the gas. Throws it to Mac and Cheese, gets the first down. As Baltimore will call their first timeout of the half. And wow, we could potentially see 24-0 here in a second.
So the meanest things Mike has sold to me is like anything.
Oh wait, no. We got a 2-minute drill going right now. There's no time for that.
See,
tell it to the 800 number. Four receiver set, end zone touchdown, and the route is on in Charleston. Ivory Irvin with the catch.
Jack Wigmore himself has got contributed to all 3 touchdowns scored. He's thrown 2 now, and he's running 1, and it's a route. And now Baltimore is looking, and now this is what they wanted from their defense, and they needed from their defense, right? I questioned it in the pregame show. They must have heard me. It motivates people in weird ways, and that I can't even motivate my own team to win in those ways. But here we are, a complete domination by Baltimore on all fronts through almost 2 quarters.
Yeah, 273 total yards for Baltimore, 56 for Charleston. But even more important than those numbers, Gerald, 24 points for Baltimore, 0 for Charleston. It's looking ugly here in this one, and this is one that, does Charleston need to win? No, I don't think so. I think they can lose this game. We talked about it in the Wilson kickoff show. I think they can lose this game. I think they can still get in the playoffs, but they're not doing themselves any favors, because Nashville hot on their heels, Atlanta hot on their heels, Carolina hot on their heels, all in that East Division. They're all 6 and 4. They could all go to 6 and 5, excuse me, and they could all go to 7 and 5. And if Charleston, if things continue to trend this way and Charleston loses, they'll also be at 7 and 5. Could be a mess. But there you go. Doug Spelling down the right sideline. Can he make a man miss? No, but he gets tackled with 1:05 to go. Nice big pickup, the biggest offensive play of the day by far for Charleston.
Yeah, look, and if they needed some sort of a spark, and this is somewhat it, especially after that, fumble, and then a couple plays later, a touchdown scored against them. I mean, they're down, 3 scores, and I would argue even more scores, because even though you do the math and it's 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion, no one's doing that in their right mind at this point. So it ends up being 4+ scores.
Yeah, 4 scores for sure.
And Mike just karate chopped me in the throat. I can't talk.
Well, listen, people are sick of hearing you talk. You just ramble on and on all pregame, and then just keep on rambling on and on now, and I didn't touch him. Oh, will you stop? I didn't even touch him. You can't see anything from the production truck.
Don't lie to the viewers, Mike.
See, you're fine. There's a live look in at Gerald right now. He's suspiciously still, but he's fine. Charleston's going to get the ball to start the second half, though, Gerald. So if they can make something happen here, even though nothing has gone their way, they could get back into it. The leg man almost gets picked. Oh, that's not somebody you want to throw the ball to. Giovanni Bolt, 14 seasons in the league, the 6-time All-Star. Gerald, he's had some impressive stats over his career. Talk about that.
Yeah, and surprisingly so, he only has 1 interception this season.
Yeah. But
he does lead the team with 9 passes defended right there. He's in right in prime position to maybe get a pick, but he decided to knock the ball down. But it's a 3rd and long, and this plays right into Baltimore's hands right here.
He's 4th all-time in interceptions, Gerald, with 92. He's approaching that coveted 100. Doug Spelling, though, man, that's who you want to throw it to. The 6'6", 220-pound target. First season here in Charleston. He left us from Mexico City last season. Boy, do we miss him. Although we did steal Charleston's number 11 and Honus Odobe. We just basically traded 11s.
Yeah, that was weirdly done.
Yep.
Look, and you know what I think in this game that they need that they haven't got involved has been Xavier Solomon.
Yes.
When he's been getting the ball, they have been pretty successful.
We've seen him make some big plays all season long. 47 seconds to go. Charleston will burn their second timeout. Diving catch. That'll bring up a short yardage situation here.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that too may have caught the ball. Couldn't really catch it. I think it was Xavier Solomon asking you shall potentially receive. And
looks like that was looks like that was number 80. It was either, I don't know, 88 or 89.
That was an 8. I'm right.
Well, yeah, I said 88 or 89, so of course it was an 8.
But I just said it was 88.
You know what else starts with 8? The 800 number. Go ahead and call it. Talk to somebody who cares. There's an 88. Xavier Solomon.
So mean tonight. What is going on? Who hurt you this week? I don't know.
You hurt me. You hurt me, Gerald.
Yeah, okay.
Third down and 2. They're down and 2 from the 22-yard line. They don't want to settle for a field goal.
No, I was about to say, don't put the ball in the air. Try and run it here to save yourself. Or are they going to throw it?
They're going to throw.
They're being aggressive.
The Lake man throws. That one is caught by Spelling. First and goal. Tackled at about the 4-yard line. Final timeout called. They'll probably try to, spotted at the 5. Probably try to throw this one in.
Yeah, and Doug Spelling has been, one of his favorite targets today. He's got 4 catches on 5 targets. So,
yep.
And he's making it work right here. Here as it is at the 5-yard line. They need to be really, really careful on where they throw the ball.
2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Never mind. 1 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Just like I said.
It's not what you said.
Now who's being mean? The Lake man looks, shuffles, throws up top. That one's behind the line of scrimmage. Tackled for a loss is Xavier Solomon. Number 8. 30 seconds to go. Clock rolling.
So now there's 2 guys at the top. Look, this is what what?
3rd and goal now. I know you're not a fan of the spike.
No, I am in a situation, but you just wasted it down at like the 7-yard line. I don't know.
With plenty of time. I mean, you had time to throw, especially when you're throwing. It's chances are it's either going to be complete and you're going to score, or it's going to be incomplete and the clock's going to stop anyway. But at least you had a shot at it.
Yeah, that was strange, but I don't know. We're like 5 and 6, looking on the outside, looking in, so I can't really question it.
Play action, Lake man, end zone, incomplete. Pass gets tipped up in the air.
I don't understand why the Lake man threw it where he threw it. He had a guy literally standing on the goal line right there waiting for the pass, and he just airmails it over his head. It was a nice stop route, and all he had to do was just catch it, and it was probably a touchdown right there. But fortunate enough for them, the ball fell to the turf and wasn't intercepted, and they have a shot at the field goal.
24 yards out from the left hash is up and good. The had to go, Gerald. 11 plays, 73 yards, 53 seconds. At least they got some points off the board. They've got the opportunity to double dip. They'll come back out on offense to start the second half.
Man, I felt like they left an opportunity. The Lake man, he either airmailed it or chose the wrong guy or saw something he thought was just right, but there was a guy right there, right inside, right on the goal line, and all he had to do was catch it and just fall backwards, and it was a TD to get 4 more points on the board.
Baltimore takes over possession of the football at the 25-yard line. I expect that they'll probably just run this one out, and assuming they do, we've got a little bit of airtime. So, Gerald, we'll go back to Skippy's question.
Oh.
Gerald, what is the meanest thing Mike has ever said to you?
Well, he talks about my hair or lack thereof quite often.
I was to say, I don't talk about your hair. How would I talk about your hair?
That's what I'm saying. See, this is like what I'm talking. This is the abuse one endures when being a friend of Mike Daggs.
Literally, right before the Wilson kickoff show tonight, within 10 seconds of being live on air, I look over at Gerald and say, "Fix your hair."
Yep. 100%. I get I'm follically challenged. But
follically challenged. Wow. That's progressive. Wigmore over the middle. That one's incomplete. I guess they're not content to just take this to the half, Gerald.
No, they're going. Look, I really do think Baltimore is really trying to remind this entire league who they are right now tonight. And you can say all these things and everybody forgets about us. We won 5 championships. Nothing as of late because we do live in a world that what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
And they're trying to show this is the type of team you're going to, that other teams are going to have to deal with in the playoffs.
If it makes you feel better, I was brutally mean to Matt, too. It's how I show that I care. T-Roy Gaines says he ain't done either.
So Matt literally had a vehicle he could ram into your body.
For sure.
And
he did.
Inflict pain.
Yeah.
I don't quite have that.
I mean, you got a car.
You gonna stand in front of it?
Nah, you'd have to chase me.
Just imagine. I know Matt probably did it at times. You guys are just walking in the Syracuse game.
Oh yeah.
Matt's riding, and all of a sudden he acted like he lost control and ran over foot. Oh, Mike, I'm sorry.
I didn't see you there.
And he's like,
my peripheral. I can't turn my neck. Whatever. I mean, his neck was fused together, so that made it hard to turn his neck. Yeah. He actually, I don't think he ever did on purpose hit me with his chair.
He probably did.
Yeah, probably.
The abuse he endured over the course of that friendship.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
40-ish years.
I can't help it. I'm just a mean person.
To the ones you love.
I'm sorry. 24-3 at the half. Baltimore out in front big time. 3-touchdown lead over Charleston, desperately trying to get that 8th win and give themselves a great playoff spot and guarantee themselves number 2 in the division. But Gerald, it hasn't worked out that way. Your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, and it's been pretty much a domination by Baltimore, and the way that they willingly went up and down the field and actually caused a fumble and then turned that into another 6. Look, Jack Wigmore is looking like he's Mr. MVP of not only this game, but at least toward the end, he's kind of established the dominance. But Charleston has got to get themselves in a position to actually stop that offense and put points on the board. If not, they could be looking at a loss.
Jack Wigmore, the player at the half. We'll take a quick halftime break presented by Breaks GPT to learn about Patrick Mahomes.
Just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
It's an Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Welcome back to Charleston for the second half. Robert Smalls Memorial Stadium. Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Breaks GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, breaksgpt.com. Your first half stats on your screen. Baltimore 285, Charleston clawing their way back in, swimming their way back in, 125 yards after being heavily lopsided at the beginning.
Yeah, look, and they're going to have to make something happen right here. If they want to establish what they're going to do for the second half, they're going to have to go down and get more than just a field goal. I think they need to go down and get a touchdown. So, man, I need to find out. I just want to know who cut that commercial up for Breaks GPT. That's just gold, man.
It is gold.
From the music to the
I like that. It's like the little elevator music, but it's like I can dance to this.
It's
I can't
gold.
dance, but I can dance to that.
It's just gold.
I'm in Kopeck trying to get a pass going here down to Britain, but can't get that one. Yeah, it's quite the catchy commercial. Actually, I'm hoping that we can find out from Breaks GPT if they're going to be willing to come to the next convention in Baltimore. I mean, we can give them plenty of heads up. We know when it's going to be. It was really cool having them down at the last convention in Houston, and now that I actually know, I didn't really know what it was they were trying to do there. Like, they explained it, but I'm not that smart, so it took me a minute. As the Lake Man comes out for the passing game, and that one's complete to Doug Spelling. Oh, he's been the man of the hour for Charleston. He's starting to get going, but they did some live breaks right in front of us, and some people at the convention got to go out of there with some valuable authenticated merch, and and it was at a fraction of the price. Their ad is spot on.
Yeah, and the thing I'm wondering too is like when and if they plan on expand to like other type sports. I know
Sure.
that they focusing on the football aspect of it now. Oh wow, he got
Lake Man
almost caught it. But I'm a huge baseball fan. A lot of
Yeah.
people may know or not know I love baseball. So
Now they do.
Baseball, memorabilia is my thing.
Sure.
I have to create my own Rev memorabilia, but
There you go.
it's still memorabilia. I'm gonna sign some stuff, but no one.
Yeah, I'll bid
wanna
50
jump on
cent. That's about it. 2-yard pickup on third down.
Sold.
Yeah, they got a lot of football stuff over here. They got some full-size helmets, full-size authentic helmets. So these are helmets that are actually authentic from like a game-worn type helmet. Got some mini helmets, jerseys, but yeah, it looks like it's mainly football for right now. So who knows? Check back. The Lake Man stands back in the pocket, throws up. That one is intercepted. Oh. Not how they wanted to come out and start this possession. Roy Towers gets the interception, and Baltimore starts their first possession of the second half with a pick. It's the fourth interception on Roy Towers' career, his second on the season.
Yeah, look, and I'm not going to lie, I saw the same thing that the quarterback saw right there. I saw the receiver going out right there. didn't even see the defender sitting there, and it was just really almost pitch and catch right there. For him, it was about as easy as it gets. Just stand right in front of it and put your hands up, and he didn't miss it. And now Baltimore is looking to just further drive the nail into his coffin.
T-Roy Gaines picks up a 3-yard carry. 2nd down and 7. Gerald, on Saturday, we're going to have the playoff scenario show because a lot more of the playoff scenarios will be eliminated. We talked about it at the Wilson Kickoff Show. There's like 2,400 scenarios right now. That'll get cut down to, I believe, 16. I know it was less than 20. So that'll make it a little bit easier to figure out what's going on during that scenario show. 3rd down and 7 coming up. After that pass to Irvin, incomplete. You can watch the scenario show before going to bed on Saturday at 11:45 p.m. Eastern time here on the SFL YouTube page. Gerald's like, what time do you say I'm already going to be in bed? Well, some of us aren't as old as you follically challenged old man.
You're older than me.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm spry as a spring chicken, as no one says. Ivory Irvin caught that one. But anyway, 11:45 p.m. for those of us who aren't, early birds, I guess. Right here on the SFL YouTube, they're going to break down all 16 remaining scenarios. There it is right there, 16. Told you it was less than 20. For the season 23 SFL playoffs. Is your team in? What needs to happen for the what needs to happen to play the first playoff games at home? All of these questions and more will be answered. We will see you there. Wigmore hands the ball off. 2nd down and 8.
So I've literally stayed up for these scenario shows.
Oh, sure.
Every single time Cam broke my heart and says, Louisiana, you're done, kind of type thing. So, and plus I was half asleep.
At least you know. That random fan just got another carry, Mr. Hoover.
So actually at one moment, at one of them shows, I actually thought I was sleeping, thought I was dreaming. Nah, Cam didn't really say that, so I had to go back and watch it the next morning to realize that my dreams are crushed.
Wigmore has time in the pocket, throws towards the end zone. Jeez. That one's complete for a touchdown. What an absolute laser beam. David Anderson gets the catch. It's only his 2nd touchdown on the season, Gerald, but they saved the best for last. You talked about it in the kickoff show. This team puts up major points. This one's getting out of hand.
And this nearly reaches, their points per game right here with the extra point. They score 32 points a game, and they're right at 31. And they're actually putting this in there. And just like I said, like with the way that the the spread is, a lot of people would have thought it may have been further spread apart. And those who, took that, like stuff says, yeah, man, they're going to beat them by a lot more than that. It's really shown right here because they are just tearing Charleston up. And, I guess for lack of better words, they really do look like some sort of a fish out of water today. Charleston does.
Well, they're actually mammals, not fish.
But it swims like a fish. I'm going to call it a fish.
It's not a fish, though. It's a porpoise. And a porpoise is a mammal. Flag on this return.
So,
flag on you calling him a fish,
whale?
Too. Yeah, it's a porpoise. Whales are pork pie. Is it pork pie? What is multiple?
Like people say porpoise, I thought it was just like a dolphin.
I'm pretty sure it's orcas, too.
Well, what is a shark?
It's a shark.
Is that a fish or a mammal?
I don't know. Ask Tarkington.
It's got gills. It's got gills.
Yeah, a shark's a fish. It's not the same as a whale. This is like when I'm talking to Matt about tsunamis and hurricanes all over again.
Look, I knew the difference, and I was dying laughing, by the way.
See? Skippy says, now I understand why Mike bullies Gerald. See? There's reasons. There's reasons.
That's mean. She won't get her bomb pop show at some time. So, well, how about that?
I think we were told not to talk about the bomb pop show, Gerald. It's for SFL After Dark, which I don't think we do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We almost had league imposed sanctions and fines on the Wilson Kickoff show.
Yeah.
which we'll pay for in Super Chats. I ain't worried about it.
I'm going to pay for it in Super Chats.
Second down and 5. Charleston's got to get something going. It's now or never for him. Ian Francis picks up the first down. And, yeah, I mean, they're down by an absolute ton here, Gerald. Is there a way for them to get back in this one, or is it done?
I don't think so. I think at this point, it just shows from the body language of the team, of Charleston, that it's almost like they're just milling it in. They're just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And, and they believe it just shows that maybe they've done their math. Hey, look, we can't really improve our standing within the playoffs. And I think they've, accepted the fact that maybe, hey, look, we're going to be playing in that wild card round anyway. We'll take our chances with the way we are. Maybe, save some of the players, protect a little bit. Let's not go 150%. Of course, this is me just speculating. I don't know if that's just what, how they're approaching this, because I like to think that, hey, every team kind of comes out to win. But
for sure,
I do think they came into this game realizing that, hey, look, we feel pretty secure in our position, in the event that we lose.
Yeah, and I would agree. It wasn't the goal, it wasn't the plan, but they can certainly get by with that being the case. So, let's see what continues to happen here in this one as Tank Richardson gets the carry.
He's got a few different carries that guy has. It shows you what Charleston's like. Let's just put that guy in there and kind of keep it going.
Pitch down to Hoagland at the bottom. He'll get tackled for a loss there. Second down and 13. When it comes to tiebreakers, teams with 5 losses, strength of victory comes into play quite a bit, Gerald. Carolina, their strength of victory, since they've beat some really good teams, .480. Nashville with a .457. Charleston right there in the middle of this group of five loss. Well, they don't have 5 losses yet, but certainly looking that way as Kopech throws it straight into the face of a DT. That's the sort of thing Matt used to do. So I'm just going to throw into this guy. He's not on our team, Matthew. Charleston with a .369 strength of victory. Atlanta and Lexington both below Charleston with a .348 and a .338 respectively. So, Charleston, they've got potential tiebreakers that will help them even at 7-5. But man, you're rolling the dice that way. Not what they want. The Lake Man finds a nice connection over the middle. Nick Twice with his first pickup of the day. It's been pretty much all Doug. What am I saying? Doug Spelling and Doug Britton had a couple of catches as well.
Yeah, look, and that's and Charleston looking, and I don't think they're doing anything wrong, right? But just kind of, look, if they'd have played this game and they would have found out, hey, look, we're competing right now, but they're so far behind. They're almost like give up mode, just go through the motions here. But, I think where they could get themselves in trouble in playing that type of mindseted like football coming in this game, say, hey, look, we're secure no matter what, is that they look at like the teams that they beat kind of within their division that could reach 7 wins. Yes. Like a Carolina team, right? A Carolina team that they have beaten, and they've also beaten a 6-5 Nashville team,
yes,
as well. They've also beaten a 6-5 Atlanta team.
Yep.
So if those teams end up, jockeying with them, to the point to where it comes a point, where like all those in it, hey, they have a sweep. So I think that's maybe what they're looking at. They got into analytics a little bit and actually was saying like, hey, look, I like our chances of getting in. But I mean, who knows of how it's going to shake out, especially when you get into a tiebreaker, when that head-to-head sweep doesn't come into play and you're relying on something like a strength of victory,
yes,
which could have you out of the playoffs. I would like, the Rebs many times were victims of strength of victory, despite us beating most of the teams that had gotten in, because one team we either didn't have common games with or we didn't face head-to-head and beat them. We got into this weird tiebreaker of strength of victory. So any chance you get to improve your wins, to ensure you get in and not count on those tiebreakers, you have to go at it like 150%, to prevent that type of stuff where you on the off chance you might be on the outside looking in and sitting home.
For sure. I remember one season in particular at the Mexico City Aztecs were 7-5, and I thought we're heading into the playoffs, and Carolina was also 7-5, but Carolina was a team that we beat. So in my little mind, well, we're ahead of them. We're in, right? We beat them, and they're the same record, so I'm in before them. But the strength of victory, it giveth the strength of victory, taketh away. Not to mention the common games. There's a lot of things that go into it, and ultimately we watched the playoffs from home, and Carolina watched them, from the playoffs. So yeah, it was something they were hoping to avoid, but they might not get that chance. Now, that being said, like I said, they're in the middle of the pack of those five loss teams. But those strength of victories are subject to change. Like, there should be an asterisk next to all of them, because like you said, they beat 6-5 Nashville.
6-5 Nashville.
But if Nashville
6-5,
loses, they go to 6-6. The strength of victory now goes down. The strength of victory for Charleston can go down without them even doing anything, just by Nashville not winning. Now, if Nashville wins, then the strength of victory would end up going up. And the same could be said for all 5 teams. There's a lot still to happen this weekend. We're only in the first game of 11. They're down in 8 coming up now, trying to get a little bit more points on the board.
Yeah, look, and it's kind of a situation with the way they're going. Look, they're going down there. Look, at this point, I really do, unless something crazy changes here. Look, and they're gonna have to get there unless they have some crazy 3 touchdown fourth quarter if they score right here in the third. We could just be looking at just something a little bit different. If you have the opportunity to win, do everything you can to win, so you don't have to worry about getting in these funky tiebreakers that you think you should get in. And sometimes teams. I was one of those teams included where I didn't quite understand the tiebreaker rules and how it happened. And I looked at it a little bit different and thought, hey, look, man, maybe we're in with this type of situation, but it doesn't always fall out that way.
4th down and 3, and they'll go for the field goal at this point, which kind of goes to your point of they're kind of just going through the motions right now. Down this many scores this late in the third, if you're really trying to get back into it at this stage, it would be 4-down territory all the way.
Right. So and that's what I'm saying right here. 3 points doesn't do you any good at all, and you get yourself, really. I'm gonna call it no closer than what you were. It's still the same amount of scores you have to put together to get there as it was. So if you score a touchdown, hey, it's down to a 3-score game. You kick a field goal, you're down 4 scores. So it keeps you still within the same amount of scores you have to score now. So it's why bother?
Right.
And just go ahead and go for it on 4th down and try to get it.
And you saw that drive summary up on the screen after the extra point. 17 play, 6-minute drive, a little over 6 minutes, and that impressive lengthy drive ends in only 3. You can't have a drive that long at this stage in the game and have it only end in 3 points.
Yeah, dude, and that's what I'm talking about, because typically Charleston defense has stood tall for them and actually got them, and they played the field position game, and they didn't have to put together those long, lengthy drives like that, right? They were able to get down down there a lot sooner and cash in those points. But this game, they just haven't. Baltimore has basically come in to Charleston and just railroaded right over whatever they were trying to do today, right? Because, Baltimore's putting together an excellent game plan.
3 quarters in the books, 10 minutes remains here in Charleston. Can the Predators get back into it? We'll find out in the 4th quarter. You're watching the Simulation Football League on YouTube.
Station of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
I'm Mike Dykes. He's Gerald Smith. We got Justin Reside and Corey Menner with us on stats tonight. Cameron Irvine, our producer at SFL Studios. Justin Reside in the stats truck, Gerald. I think he's maybe getting a little bored down there because he's sending us pictures of chickens dancing on tables.
Yeah, it's dancing and you're scratching with the music notes in the background. Reside's I don't know what's going on.
I'm not sure why, but
Maybe he fell asleep and his face happened to put that up on the board when his face hit the
smack the key. Yeah, well, and now we have a nice return by Doug Breton, but a flag on the play will probably back that up. It is indeed a clipping call, block in the back, and that'll back them up just a bit. Charleston, first down and 10 at their own 22-yard line. And fans not too pleased with the performance tonight here from the Predators.
I mean, because look, you said, oh yeah, they're gonna back that up. You know, it popped up in my head. Those of us at our age, know a rapper called Juvenile. First thing that popped in my mind was like, back that thing up.
Back that thing up. Yeah. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, back that thing up.
Yep.
That's what that was.
That's a real bad penalty battle. Back that up.
Yep, that's what it is. Yep.
Second down and 8. It's hit that time of the ball game, folks.
It sure has. That's what you get when it's 31-6 in the fourth quarter.
We got dancing chickens. We got musical references. We got Charleston back in possession of the football.
Oh, the leg man. Oh, he threw a big 6.
Yep. Touchdown Baltimore. I literally just said Charleston back in possession of the football, and they're like, hold my beer.
Yep. And Alvin Mack says, well, I'll tip drill to myself. This is not nowhere near the game that, Charleston wanted, and it's turned to just bad. And the stadium is so quiet right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what I mean? Made me feel good right there on the pick 6 replay that I saw a sign that said the Lake Man Shuffle in the end zone. So it's like, it's do the Lake Man Shuffle, it says. Go ahead.
I love it. Extra point is good. 38-6. Gerald, this Baltimore team has scored, coming into tonight's game, 360 points on the season as we see a dejected Charleston crew on the bench. They are 2 points away from hitting 400 points in 12 games. That's some Minneapolis Maulers type stuff for people that have been in the league a long, long time.
Well, they have the pedigree. The same man that was operating the Maulers got a huge hand in what's going on in Baltimore. And look, he's got 30,000. I don't think he has enough fingers and toes for how many rings he's won or plans to win.
Yeah, you're successful when you're ordering your championship ring and you're like, well, you're going to have to measure my pinky toe.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because I'm out of phalanges on my hands.
He has enough that he can give him out for Halloween. I'm going to T-Pat's house. I need one of those.
So many points. Charleston's Nick Hoagland able to pick up the first down. It's not unheard of, though. 6 teams scored 400 or more back in season 21. Canton had 431 last season. But so far in this season, Gerald, 400 is not something that really many teams are going to hit. Baltimore might do it tonight. The next closest team to 400 is my Mexico City Aztecs. And gosh be golly, I think we're pretty good, Gerald, but I don't think I'm going to put up 97 points. Now, there's a chance because we've been practicing really, really hard. And I'm going to give Dan Tritz extra tacos for all the pick sixes he gets, big man touchdowns.
Well, if you wanted to make 400 points on a season, which is a huge feat to do in 12 games, maybe you should not have abandoned your friend and decided to jump on a boat for a whole week. Oof. And that was a time that you actually guys kind of mailed it in.
Leah, you leave Ramos in charge for 1 week. 1 week.
Look, everybody loves Ramos.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
But his track record in season 21, man, it was just bad.
Yeah.
You came in and said we're fixing this. Ramos was like, yes, you are.
Play action for the leg man. He's going to shuffle his way back to the line of scrimmage and then get face planted by Robert Brady. 4th down and 8, and this one's all but over.
He was kidding. Why would the leg man try to shuffle his way between 2 guys who was helping him?
Style points. He's going for style points.
Oh man, I don't know what that was. He was trying to jump over Robert Brady or something, but it didn't work. Love you, leg man. You got some skills.
You do have
but
some
I
skills,
don't think you got those kind of.
But don't
skills.
do that again. I don't know what that was. 7 minutes. 7 minutes and 1 second left to go here in the Week 15 opener. Yeah.
It feels like an eternity at this point.
I know. It's like, oh, God, there's still 7 minutes left. Listen, we got some more SFL action coming up. I'm sure we're going to have some more good games this weekend. Not every game can be like last Friday's opener. We had 2 games in that 8 o'clock block last Friday. They were both phenomenal. I don't think Arizona thought they were so phenomenal, but, other teams maybe did. But we've got a couple more games coming up just even tonight, Gerald, at 10:15 p.m. You see Queen City take on Pittsburgh. Eric Vincent and Alex West on the call together. With Queen City, 0-11 right now, Gerald, and they've got their best chance of the season going up against Pittsburgh. It's a young team, that's had their ups and downs this season too. Team owner and our current statistician, Corey Menner. Love you, man. But, I wouldn't mind seeing Queen City get that O out of the win column and at least win one on the season.
Yeah, and look, it's really tough to see any team in any league, go winless, right? It's just a tough, long, grueling season, right? And now that the season extended 15 weeks, that's a long time to just not get a win, but. I'm sure Corey is sitting himself, nah, man, we're not letting them get a win.
Yeah.
We don't want to be that team.
Yeah, we don't want to be the team that lost to the Corsairs.
That loses to the winless team. So I mean, they're going to be playing for just as much to win that game as Queen City is.
Yep, for sure, and understandably so. They want to get that win. You feel for any team that could potentially go winless, and obviously the players on it. But listen, I can tell you right now, if Mexico City was going up against Queen City here in Week 15, I would want to destroy them. Like I want to destroy all the opponents that we play.
We did.
Now, why do you got to go there? Justin's right there. Justin and his dancing chicken are right there.
Well, someone's got to face the wrath of when we lose, and we've lost 6 times. So
I think we should start a poll to see who the bigger bully truly is in this broadcast booth. But yeah, who am I to argue? But anyway, we got 4 games coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow night as well. 6:30 p.m. Eastern. You got DC at Fort Worth. Brett Solberg, Anthony Ellison on the call together. Houston at Bossier City. Alex West and Rochelle Colson on the call. I always have to enunciate the heck out of Bossier City. Their acronym is BCS, Bossier City Steamers. But when I'm looking at it and saying Bossier City, but it starts with an S, it just makes my brain do, oh, good, we got to, look at that. Ask and ye shall receive. We got a poll in the chat. Who's the bigger bully? Only one of us can vote, and I've got control.
But yes, even
Whoa,
then.
Well, keep voting, because somehow I was.
Let's go.
No, this is ridiculous. Why y'all voting for me? 9 votes in so far. It's not nice at all. Now y'all are the bullies. Houston at Bossier City. Alex West, Rochelle Colson on the call. It's our 6:30 block tomorrow, 9 p.m. We've got Motor City and your Louisiana Revolution with Chris Curtis and Alex West doing our doubleheader. He's calling a game later tonight. He's doing 2 tomorrow. Alex West, that is why he was our Matt Wilson broadcaster of the season in the analyst spot. 9:15 p.m. You got Minnesota at Charleston. Minnesota's looked absolutely unstoppable this season. Jacob Clear and Ramos Lynn will be on that call.
Yeah, look, and Minnesota actually, beat Florida in really handily fashion last week as well. So Florida kind of had a couple of in primetime games where they didn't look so good, right? Yeah. I do believe the Monday Night Spectacular had the Canton, Florida game where Florida got shut out. Florida forgot to show up, and then here it was this past Monday Night Spectacular. Mm-hmm. Florida once again, and Minnesota kind of takes them back out to the woodshed and shows them who's boss, at least for this season, in that matchup.
They're down to 9 coming up for Charleston. Dumping it down right to the line of scrimmage and tackled after a 1-yard gain. 4th down and 8. I'm a little miffed. 13 votes and 69% of the viewers that voted say that I'm the bigger bully.
You physically are the bigger person out of us.
Well, the bigger person, yeah. Did you just call me fat? Man, another interception.
Wow.
It's just been one
Oh,
of
he
those
just
days.
stepped by. What is going on?
Yeah, and over
Put that man in the backfield.
over 400
What's going on?
points on the season now for the Vultures is John Patrick Levine gets the pick 6. And yikes, it's been a bloodbath out here, Gerald, all night long. It's been all Baltimore since the very beginning of the game. Second interception on the season for John Patrick Levine, his first pick 6 on the season,
And his first
pick
career.
6 of his career.
Congratulations to him, and he did it in fashion. He broke one tackle.
He got that ball and he's like, I'm going, man.
Stiff-armed a guy, and he just took off, took an advantage. And guess what? Here they are. They have now reached 400 points.
Yep, and 45 on
the season.
On the night. Over under on this game's 48.5. Baltimore challenging to try to beat that themselves, but the over has been reached, and Charleston being an underdog by 3.5. That one was a little off.
A little, I mean a lot.
Yes, that's correct. Let's continue to look at the schedule ahead for the weekend. Atlanta at Florida, 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. Tyler Falk, Eddie Gage on the call to help figure out what is exactly going to go on here in the East Division. Charleston making that more convoluted now, as they will absolutely fall to 7-5, and Atlanta, Nashville, and Carolina all have the opportunity to advance to 7-5. So still remains to be seen just how that plays out, as still plenty of action left to happen. So Sunday, 6:30, Atlanta at Florida. 9 p.m., you've got Indianapolis at Carolina with Cameron Duty and Eric Vinson. And at 9:15, Albuquerque at Los Angeles. Ethan Muslin and Mike O'Neill on the call. Of course, your Monday Night Spectacular. That will finish up the East Division standings one way or the other. Mexico City at Nashville with Cameron Irvine and Charles Doherty on the call.
Oh,
Doug Spelling attempting to get
wow.
a nice catch there.
He had a step on the defender, too. And he looked like he tried to finesse it a little bit too much in one hand. It didn't secure it with the other ball. I mean, with the other his other hand, and it just got hit and the ball fell.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of pick 6s now on the game, Gerald. We just saw one by John Patrick Levine, but Alvin Mack. If you think back, Alvin Mack had a pick 6 when it was like, okay, is Charleston done? Are they not done? You could have still gone either way on it. But once that pick 6 happened, it was all but over, and didn't call it out at the time. But I'm going to now, at least especially looking back, I think we can say that was our breakaway play of the game, brought to you by Breaks GPT. Sports memorabilia breakers and collectors. You never know whose autographed helmet or jersey you might hit. Check them out at breaksgpt.com. That was definitely, to me, not necessarily a turning point, but the final nail in the coffin. Once that pick 6 happened, it's like, all right, they're done.
Yeah, look, it's just, look, did Charleston mail it? Oh, here comes another pick.
He got caught. Yeah, I thought he was gone as soon as he picked that off. Roy Towers getting his second interception on the day. He was trying to make a hat trick of pick 6s, but got a little bit bottled up there. And you know what? I'm going to call that one the nice hands catch, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K23 is, there's been a lot of catches by the defense tonight.
Yeah, look, and they actually put up 2 more touchdowns as well, right? They came into this game having 8 defensive touchdowns, and now they have 10.
Yeah,
that's amazing, and I'm pretty sure it actually puts them in the lead as far as a team collectively. And look, and maybe that's something, our fearless leader in Cameron Irvine can actually look up. Like, what is a record for a team having pick 6s in a season?
Yeah,
because that's 10 for them. So it's a interesting thing, to see happen. Baltimore dominated this game from jump, right? Jack Wigmore established his dominance, and having 4 touchdowns alone, he was involved in all the offensive touchdowns that were scored for Baltimore today.
2nd down and 8. as Baltimore continues their march towards beating the over on their own. Warren Murray gets a carry. We really haven't had to call his name all that much. It's only his 6th rushing attempt of the ball game. T-Roy Gaines has had 12. But, you know, if I had asked you at the beginning of the game, Gerald, who is going to have better rushing stats, Warren Murray or Jack Wigmore?
I would have said Warren Murray,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Yeah, and then like probably been like, what are you, dumb? Because, you know, you're a bully. So you would have said something like that.
Yeah, I would say you're like a mean person.
Yeah.
So, like, no, if I would have said Jack Wigmore, you would have belittled me. Like,
Yeah.
you're crazy. You're strange.
I would have said, you didn't just lose your hair, you lost your brains too.
Yeah, along with the hair.
It's just like went right out the pores and evaporated. You follically challenged. I'm going to stop. 4th down and 2. That one didn't work. You know, have you ever looked into the hair club for men? 2-minute warning here from Charleston as Gerald's giving me some very upset looks. Listen, this is going to be our last broadcast for, you know, a few weeks, and I need to get it all out there.
In fact, some would think that I would have looked into it, but I have not. I'm just like, let it go.
You're like
go.
Queen Elsa on Frozen. She sang "Let It Go." As the
Yeah.
shark kicks that one up.
Later on in
and
my
through.
life, I realized that was
It was
for
just
me.
too late. Yeah.
it was for me. Just let it go. She made me feel better about it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, oh, we got a theme song up in here. That's what's up. So,
Yeah.
you know, Baltimore, they've had some impressive wins throughout this season. You know, they've going all the way back to week 1. They started off with a win over the Canton Classics, which, you know, other than Florida in the championship game, hadn't been done in a regular season in quite some time. You know, and then they took on Indianapolis in week 2, beat them by 18 points. Minnesota, who's had one of the most impressive seasons of any team, you know, they beat Baltimore in week 3, but right back out at it in week 4. They took down Albuquerque by 17. So here's some of their other margins of victory. They beat Houston by 13, Queen City by 30, Bossier City by 13. They beat D.C. by 25. Pittsburgh almost had their number. They only beat Pittsburgh by 3, so kudos to Corey for keeping that one a close one. That was actually a really exciting game, but, you know, now 42 points. This is going to be their highest margin of victory and the 3rd largest margin of victory this season if the score doesn't change here in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a dominant performance right here. Look, and it wouldn't surprise me, you know, with Charleston throwing if there's another pick 6 in the bag for you know, Baltimore here, because they just had a knack for it, and, you know, and everything else. And we actually touched on that too, right? One thing that, you know, Baltimore, you know, has been good at this season in terms of, you know, like their defense, right? Hey, they give up a lot of yards and all that stuff, right? But they were good at doing, you know, getting pressure on the quarterback and forcing turnovers, and the defense actually directly taking those turnovers and turning them into touchdowns.
Yeah, Roy Towers almost just had another one there. As you see the turnover numbers on your screen, none for Baltimore, 5 turnovers.
Right, and whenever
Charleston.
And whenever you're actually, you know, when you're turning the ball over that much, no good can come from it at all. So,
the points off turnovers go into play as well, and we'll see that number, you know, in the post game. You know, I mean, this is just an all-around dominant victory for Baltimore. To turnover on downs gives them back possession of the football. Probably run it out. Who knows? They're only a half point away from hitting the over themselves. Maybe they'll kick it through. There's, you know, Charleston still has 3 timeouts they might call here. But you know, listen, I thought that the Mexico City Aztecs had a pretty impressive win over Bossier City a couple weeks ago. That was a 34-point margin of victory. This one's 42 and potentially going to go even higher.
Yeah.
You know, I believe we had 27 points off turnovers in that one, and Baltimore's got to be right up there with them as well. And, you know, if Charleston does indeed call some timeouts here, you know, pending any first downs, there could definitely be some more points. So we'll see what happens. If they get another first down, they might end up kneeling this one.
I know it doesn't mean anything, but I do believe on that last tackle, John Stamango made his way back onto the field. Why? I don't know. You can just tell on the sideline because this game is over, but it's if they pick up the first down here, we know they're gonna kneel it out, and
there it
does just that. So, fortunate enough for Charleston, they very likely won't have to look at a 50 burger being put on them. But it's dominant performance by Baltimore, and the way they went about doing it. I mean, there's nothing more to say. It was all Jack Wigmore and the defense and the positions that they actually put the Charleston offense in, and it was a beatdown. So Charleston had to have a lot to correct, right? I do think still do think that they look pretty good for getting into the playoffs. But you never know, depending on how this scenario goes and how their strength of victory could go up and down, and everything else. So they're going to have a lot to work on. Baltimore is looking like the Baltimore that won a gazillion different championships, as they can see right there. As we just saw, all these stars on these pants can signify the championship that they've won. Very, very storied franchise, and they're peaking at the right time, having won their 6th game in the last 7. So they are peaking right at the right time and beating pretty good teams at that.
I would agree. It also it puts a lot of pressure on Florida too, because if Florida loses, then Baltimore can get to the number 5 seed. If Florida wins, then Baltimore will stay down at the 6th seed. So we see a kneel down, and Gerald, guess what? They can't let the clock run out. They're going to kick a field goal.
Oh, wow.
That just hurts.
Sorry, Charleston. They're going to beat the over under all on their own.
Somebody call PETA, because Baltimore is beating a whale.
Wow.
Shark Tarkington, 30-yard attempt from the right hash, and
it's the thing, and I don't know, but Charleston could very well, if Florida wins, Baltimore is be a 6th seed, and Charleston might have to go to Baltimore and face them again if they end up being the 11th seed.
That's
so
potential.
It's so that's why in these situations you have to win. Don't play the odds. I do understand the point that, hey, look, we're gonna get in the big dance, right? And then we're gonna strut our stuff when we get there. But if you can do it in a little bit more style, you got to do everything you can to do it. But they were just outmatched tonight.
So tie the 2nd largest margin of victory this season, 45 points. As Baltimore looking into trying to cut into my stats, Gerald, I'm darn proud of Mexico City's plus 162 league leading net points. Baltimore net points wise 94. You talked about that in the Wilson kickoff show about how their defense has surrendered quite a bit of points, so that cuts into that net point lead. But the Aztecs still out in front in that category. We'll see if we're able to maintain that after Monday night. Take on Nashville and help decide the East. Blake Mann, one last throw towards Doug Spelling. 3 seconds on the clock. Your final thoughts on this one as we head to the triple zeros.
I just think Baltimore is looking, the best they've ever looked this season right here, and they're doing it at the right time. And I think Charleston's probably looked the worst that they've looked all season long.
Been bad,
So it's not it's a thing, and both these squads could very well be in the playoffs. We know Baltimore will. Charleston, hey, look, it's still out there to see the result of these other games and how it's all going to shake out. But the way Charleston looked tonight, it isn't the Charleston team that we've seen.
Right.
But Baltimore just put it to them. I don't think it's anything against Charleston. I think Baltimore forced them into situations that they didn't want to be in, and they just dominated.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And on that last catch, some cheers from the crowd. I think it was almost sarcastic cheers, like, "Hey,
it's over."
You finally got some yards down the field, but
time to put the tourniquet on.
Yeah, for sure, 51-6. Baltimore gets the win. See those points off turnovers. I'm interested to see how that went. 31, Joe. 31 points off turnovers. I mean, that's how you lose a ball game.
Yeah. Like collectively, the QBR, if you add up both QBRs, I don't even think they got half of what what Jack
only
Wigmore
laugh,
actually
but
did.
man, it's just a holy cow.
Well, it was
just a beatdown all around.
It was complete domination, and Baltimore, right? If Baltimore's going to keep going in this trajectory, it's like, are they unstoppable? We'll find out going forward.
Yeah, we sure will. Baltimore, they're going to advance to 9-3 on the season. The Charleston Predators will fall to 7-5, and depending on what happens with Atlanta, Nashville, and Carolina, we can see a whole mix of 7-5 teams in the East. I don't envy the crew on the Scenario Breakdown show. There's a reason I've never been part of that crew. I don't want anything to do with it. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. Listen, we got 2 more games coming up tonight, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time, Queen City at Pittsburgh, and then at 10:30 p.m. you've got Vancouver at Denver. Stick around for those games. There's sure to be some great ones. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League on YouTube. Final score, Baltimore wins it 51-6. For Gerald Smith, Corey Menner, Justin Reside, Cameron Irvine, Matt Wilson, who's always with me in spirit, I am Mike Dykes. Thank you for joining us. Be kind to one another. Always choose happy. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy Week 15.